Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. For me, it's a very, very interesting opportunity to contribute to this discussion, but especially to start highlighting two aspects that we want to make very visible in next COP16 of biodiversity in Cali, Colombia. The first one is that right now, we don't see in the political agenda and in the economic process taking care of biodiversity and restoring nature as one of the critical pillars for the climate transition. But actually, 20% of emissions are caused today by deforestation and the change of use of land. And it's estimated that if we actually partner with nature, if we actually fulfill the Kunming-Montreal Biodiversity Agreement, we could contribute in 30% on stabilizing the climate under 2 Celsius. And this that seems to be obvious is not actually quite recognized globally. That's why from Colombia, as the presidency of the next biodiversity COP, we are calling for an international coalition to make peace with nature. It means putting that critical question in absolutely everything we do. How can we create an economic system that, rather than systematically destroying life, can actually systematically restore life? How can we create a financial system and markets that adapt again to the cycles of the natural systems so that actually we could fulfill human rights for all, but at the same time have economies that have some sense of survival in the 21st century. This transition is very difficult. Actually, to be able to stabilize the climate, we will need to make a huge economic transition that is not today at the center of the climate conversation. We talk a lot about emissions, but we don't talk about how are we going to stop the expansion of the production of fossil fuels. And we don't talk about that because at the center is actually the economic system. Colombia, a country that depends on the export of coal and oil, and that wants to make that transition, once it announces that it's going to stop exploration so that we can put a limit to the frontier and start creating an economy based on our biodiversity, is immediately punished by the credit investment agencies, which ask the next question, so how are you going to pay your debt? And we don't have an easy answer. So we are also calling in Cali to invite the discussion on a non-proliferation of fossil fuel treaty, an economic process where we can agree on the rules of the game that we need to install to be able to address this crisis. Otherwise, we will be making promises, but with not the adequate means to be able to actually fulfill those promises. Thank you so much, and we wait for you in Cali, Colombia, and super invited to be part of the Peace with Nature Coalition.